A great principle of software development, which you'll hear me repeat ad nauseum, is the don't repeat yourself, or DRY process. In general, you should not have repetitious code anywhere in your system. We want reusable, testable code to be prevalent in our application. How much and how we apply it is an art form unto itself. A great example of this is Laravel's use of layouts, yield, and content blocks to DRY up our views. Now that we have some very basic HTML in there, we're going to need to clean it up a little bit, make it look a little nicer. We're going to do this by using Foundation 5. You can really use any kind of front-end framework that you want. I'm just going to use downloading the complete version of Foundation 5 and show you how to integrate that into our templates and working with layouts. So go ahead and click on the Download Everything button under foundation.zurb.com and then download. Okay, once this is done, we're going to open it up, look at it inside of Finder, and here you're going to see we're going to have the CSS files, image files, the JS file, robots, and index. We really only want to concern ourselves with these three folders as they are right now. So we're going to take these folders and we're going to copy them over to our Homestead directory, which here we have in Hampton and then Homestead, Projects, Laravel Basics. Inside of our Laravel Basics folder, we're going to go inside of our public folder and we'll paste them in here. The next thing going into Sublime, if you open up your public folder, you'll now see CSS, image folder, and a JS folder there for us to use that already contains our foundation information. So what we're going to need is to take that information and integrate it into our main index file or our route file. Here it's using hello.php. I'm going to paste in some code and then we'll review what that code is doing for us in order to integrate with Foundation. All right, let's switch over to our browser, make sure it works, heading to localhost, or laravel.dev. All right, now we have our basic layout. ODot will be our project for our to-do list application, quick text that says hi, and then your expected copyright at the bottom. Let's take a look over at our hello.php file. Same as what we've seen before, typical HTML markup. Here we are adding a style sheet with the foundation CSS, which is in our public folder, so we don't need to define anything else other than just CSS. Same thing for JS. And then we go to the very bottom and you'll see that we are calling two scripts, the jQuery script, the foundation minified script, and then calling run foundation or run the actual foundation framework. What we're going to do next is move to create what's called a layout. Now, a layout for us is going to be a way for us to use a standard wrapping HTML for all of our content, avoiding duplication or trying to create what we call DRY or don't repeat yourself code. We'll do that by creating a layouts folder in our views folder. In this layouts folder, we're going to create another file, just a standard PHP file. We're going to call this one main.blade.php. Now, Blade is the syntax language for Laravel for front-end code templating. We're going to get into Blade in a lot more detail further on down, but for now, just name your file main.blade.php and then hit enter. So now we're going to take what's inside of our hello.php file, copy all of it over, and place it into our layouts file. Now, we don't need everything in here every time. We're going to want to modify this section here. So this is the part that we're going to want to make a change to every single time. The content that we're going to want to update is inside of this h1 tag, or actually inside of this div large 12. So we're going to remove the call to h1 hi and just put in a command called yield. And then we're going to pass through a single argument and call it content. So this is going to say we would like to yield the content here at this location in our template. That's all we need to do in the template file for now. So let's go ahead and close this file out and go back over to our hello file. Now, I'm going to actually delete everything in this file and hit save. Now, the first thing we need to do inside of the hello file is rename this file so that we can use the blade syntax in order to create a tie to our main.blade.php layout. So I'm going to rename the file and do hello.blade.php. Reopen that file. And now we can begin to use the blade syntax. If you are using Sublime, you'll see here that it's just saying it is a PHP file. So we don't have the blade syntax highlighting for Sublime. I can install that using the package manager. I'm going to do that now, and I'll have a link below on how you can install it yourself. So I'm going to open up the commands and then do install package. And then the package that I'm going to search for is Blade. So here is the Laravel Blade highlighter. So hit enter. It will install. And now when I close this file and reopen it, you'll see it is now PHP Laravel Blade. In order to use the Blade syntax for extending into a layout or using a layout for a file, we'll have to use the extends command. So we'll say extends. You'll see now we're having a little bit of highlighting here, and layouts.main. Now, what this is telling us is we're looking in the views folder by default, and then inside of there, the layouts folder, and then we use a dot notation to say inside of the layouts folder, we're going to be using the main file, so main.blade.php. So that is the first step. Okay, so doing just extends layout main, let's go to our browser and see what it does. So here we've got our layout, we've got the same view that we had before, but notice we're now missing the content that was there, which is our simple h1 tag that says hi. So we can just add that back in, but if we put it in the file itself, it doesn't know where to put that in the HTML. So we're going to have to access where we originally wrote yield inside of our hello.php or hello.blade.php file. The way we do that is by using the keyword or the command section. So let's move back over and do that now. So here we're having content, and then we're going to do @stop to tell us that is the end. And anything in here in this section is what is going to print into our content yield. Let's go back to what we originally had before, which is our h1, and then hi. All right, let's switch back over, see if that worked. There we go.